Hello everyone and welcome back to another episode of CR Exposed. On today's episode we are looking at the Mimic from Tales of the Valiant Monster Vault 1. This is a CR2 monster and yeah, it's everyone's beloved Mimic that, might be a treasure chest or might be a table or might be a house or might be your best friend's dog's collar. I don't know. It can be anything at this point. They are the amazing drop in and just have fun monster. So we're looking at CR2. Our Mimic here in Tales of the Valiant should have a proficiency bonus of 2, 13 to 15 AC, 60 hit points on average, 4 to 5 attack bonus, 19 to 25 DPR, and 13 to 15 save DC. From that, we will take a look at our monster here. It has a natural AC of 12. Actually, before we do that, let's go ahead and throw in the modifiers here. We have a modifier of 3, strength, 1 dex, 2 con, -3. Not 9, -3 intellect, +1 wisdom, and -1 charisma. So we'll see now that we have a 12 AC here. We're supposed to have a 12. We have an 11, so which means we have to add in +1 AC there. We are just 1 below our expected AC of 13 to 15, so we will be getting a slight bonus there, which can be adjusted with other modifiers. And then from that, we will go ahead and see what we are looking at. Ooh, speed. Okay, perfect. Our speed is 20, which means we need to come down all the way down into the speed and adjust this to 20, which now means we are getting more hit points as well because our monster's primary speed is lower than 30, as we see here. The creature's primary speed or only speed is below 30 feet, which means it's slower to get at its targets, which means it needs more hit points to last longer. After that, we are then moving into its vulnerabilities, resistances, and such, so we will go ahead and track all of these because they are important. And we have a vulnerability to cold, which is fascinating to see. And then we have resistance to grappled and the monstrosity resilience. So we'll come on down here. And we are, to grappled. Grappled is over here. We're resistant to that. And then we also have the monstrosity resilience. So this means a Mimic is resistant to exhaustion and to the frightened condition. Exhaustion and frightened. Now, again, I've been saying this and I'm repeating myself. This right here, while neat, is extra typing. I mean, you can just throw this in here with the rest of it. It's kind of not necessary. I don't know. But beyond that, we have our 3 resistances here and we are triggering an effect here. So we are now losing 5% because we are resistant to a few conditions here. From that, let's see here. Oh, I missed. We are also immune to a couple things here. We have acid. We are immune to that. And then we are also immune to the prone condition. So we have an extra condition here, which means nothing. It's just, there we go. We have a couple of things here going on. Okay, that's all it for our features area. We now move into what would be it's our trait section. We have adhesive. The Mimic adheres to anything it touches, not important for combat. We have false appearance, also not important for combat. The Mimic has advantage on attack rolls against any creature it's grappled. Ironically enough, we don't really have anything for advantage in this. While it does make it easier in theory to hit our targets, advantage just doesn't do anything as far as I'm aware. Let me get back to you that on a split second. Okay, split second over, and yes, there's really nothing to modify our monster for having advantage. So we don't get a bonus to, effective ACs or effective attack bonuses. This is just what it is. You just get advantage for being a grappler. So we'll move on. We already took a look at the monster resilience. So we'll scroll up to the top here and take a look at the other items, and we'll see that we have the actions. So for our actions, we have multi-attack. The Mimic makes 2 pseudopod attacks. If it grapples a creature, or if it is grappling a creature, it can replace 1 attack with a bite attack. Okay, so our bites are both coming from +5 damage, which we will see here that this is coming from strength right here, which is within the range of the expected attack bonus, which is great. And we are dealing, for our bite, 7.5 because it's an odd number, as well as 7 there. So we're getting 14.5 for our first attack. Right there. And then for our pseudopod, we are getting, let's see here, another +5 to hit, reaches 5. The target is 10 even. And if the Mimic is in object form, the target is subjected to the adhesive trait, which more than likely it's always going to be in its in that form. So we'll go ahead and add in the 10 bludgeoning damage. And then we have our bonus action of change shape, which doesn't affect our combat ratings. And then we also have reaction of prey shield. When a creature the mimic can see hits it with an attack while it is grappling a creature, the mimic can roll the grappled creature in front of the blow, forcing the grappled creature to take the damage instead. Now this reaction is actually very similar to like the Cloaker's ability or something. We have this down here, and that is, let's see here, damage transfer. So damage transfer, or similar trait that allows the creature to reduce the damage it takes while transferring some damage it takes to another creature, aka prey shield. We can force the grappled creature to take the damage instead. So from that, we are going to go ahead and click the damage transfer, which is going to reduce our creature's attacks quite a lot, or not the attacks, but the hit points that it has, in theory. We'll see what happens in a minute when I totally finish up this attack here. So now the question is, going back to our actions and our multi-attack, what are we expecting to get here? We can make 2 pseudopod attacks, and if it is grappling a creature, it can reduce 1 with a bite attack. Well, in theory, the creature is going to be in its pseudopod form. Let's just double check the change shape real quick. The mimic transforms into a larger, smaller object, or back into its true form, an amorphous form, which it is a monstrosity. Its statistics are the same in each form. Any equipment it is wearing or carrying doesn't matter. So yeah, basically this mimic will always stay in its, object form unless it wants to turn into like a humanoid, I guess, which it totally could do, and go about its business that way. I mean, you could have a pseudopod, or not a pseudopod, a mimic in knight's armor and have it do that as well. But for the sake of argument, or for argument's sake here, we're going to say it's always in its object form, so it's always going to become adhesive and it's going to grapple its targets, which means we can do a pseudopod and then go in for a bite attack. So we can do both at the same time. Let's see here. Our pseudopod is only 10. Yeah, so we'll just do that. That's going to be our average damage here. We're going to go ahead and say 14.5 plus 10 for a total of 24.5, which just brings us a half a point below the maximum for our damage. So for a CR, what are we looking at here? 2? Yeah, CR 2. Technically, this guy might be a little deadly with how strong and how damaging it can hit. So let's see here. Let's take a look at our total adjustments. With everything we have going on for its adjustments, we are looking at negative 27 total. So that means we should have, if everything is calculated correctly here for the Mimic, we should be looking at 58 total hit points. And drum roll here, which I'm not going to add in, we have 43. So likely that means they didn't take into account the damage transfer for the reaction. So maybe they don't always have someone grabbed into that. Let's see what happens if we remove the damage transfer. We drop that off, and we are now looking at 65. Oh, wow, interesting. So we're at a really strange area here where something's off. I'm not really sure what to say about this. If we put this back on, we're really low, and we're at 43 hit points, which is what I would think the actual item is going on here. Yeah, we have the adhesive, false appearance, grappler. Yeah, I'm not really sure how to rate this. I mean, the attacks are right where it's supposed to be, but the hit points are off. Something is really off here for our hit points. We're getting +1 for the AC. We're getting creature's primary speed is below. We have one thing for damage, which is perfectly fine. For each type of damage to which the creature is vulnerable, we're getting an additional 8. And then we are losing at least 5 because we have a bunch of conditions. And let's see here. The creature has only one type of damage to which it is resistant or immune, which that is also the case. It has acid. So let's just see here. Bring up my calculator real quick just to make sure that all of our modifiers are exactly correct. So we have +5, +5, and +8 for a total of 18 additional hit points. And then we are doing -5, -5, and -35. So yeah, a negative 27%. Something's missing here. I'm not sure how they accounted for this. Maybe they're expecting only a couple times that the damage transfer technically works. Maybe they're doing, let's try this. Let's say maybe 10. They calculated for 1 damage transfer. Okay, that's 58. And that's what they have here. So in theory, they may have adjusted for one damage transfer. And then maybe they decided, okay, after that, the group will always make sure to pull off a target that's been adhered before attacking the mimic and going from there. That's about the best I can suggest. So more than likely, that is also the case. Who knows? And it looks like with that in mind, if we don't use the full 35, negative 35, and only go with a minus 10 for the damage transfer of the reaction, then yeah, that works out better. And actually, technically, that's probably the case, actually, because you can only get 1 reaction. So after the first attack, every other attack will work like normal. Okay, that makes more sense. Okay, good to remember for next time. So in essence, then, our Mimic is 100% accurate now that I've just kind of worked it out with you all here, and hopefully I didn't bore you too much to tears. If you like what I'm doing here and you'd like to get this tool completely for free for yourself, you can do so by grabbing the link in my description to my Ko-fi page where the tool is free, like I said before, or you can donate if you feel so inclined to. You can also support the channel by becoming a channel member for as little as $1 a month, or also at my Ko-fi page. On top of that, there are also custom classes that work for both Tales of the Valiant, and they are designed specifically for Tales of the Valiant, or also for 5th edition, if you're still playing that. So you get technically 2 classes for the price of 1, as well as a bunch of subclasses that are also for Tales of the Valiant and 5th edition. Some of those subclasses are fun, some of them are more serious, and monsters. Although the monsters are separate. You either get them for Tales of the Valiant or you get them for 5th edition, because Tales of the Valiant monsters are so much more deadlier than their 5th edition counterparts. If you've seen any of my converting videos, especially the Quickling, you will know what I'm talking about. Go back and check that. Other than that, you can like, subscribe, comment, and share with your friends. Or comment here. I am always watching my comments, and I always talk to everyone that leaves me a comment. Thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one.